here goes the poll. You can answer in the poll widget. I'm going to leave that open for just another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's a bimodal distribution. We have about a third of our audience or so who are currently still studying, and about 40% who have more than 5 years experience. So thank you for that, and that gives me an idea of who is in our audience today. As I mentioned, we're going to hear now from Professor Manoj Motiani, and we had him with us live a month ago. He couldn't join us again today, unfortunately, because of a scheduling conflict, but wanted to share with you what he had to say with us then. So he's going to describe some of the program a bit. I'll come back and describe more of it and how to enroll and a special bonus offer. And after that, I'll take some more additional questions. He's going to share with you answers to questions that other people had asked. Here we go. Make sure I'm doing this correctly. All right.
As the slide says, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Manoj Motiani. I work with IIM Indore for last 10 years, and I am currently Associate Prof in the marketing area. Before coming to IIM Indore, I completed my PhD from IIM Ahmedabad. Before that, I worked in industry for a brief period of time at Aditya Birla Group, as well as at Godrej Consumer Private Limited. As a scholar, I have published few papers and possibly few of the reports which are available in both media and possibly in the research portal. And we do a small amount of consulting work for various companies as well as possibly some NGOs to work with. My research interest as a professor is in the field of sales management, service marketing, neuromarketing. These would be few areas in which I'm more interested in terms of doing my research, consulting, and training. To explain you about IIM Indore, IIM Indore was established in 1996. So we, in some sense, are the second generations IIM which got started up by Government of India. We have two campuses. One main campus, which is in IIM Indore, where we actually host all our programs, which include PGP, IPM, EPGP, all full-time programs, which are run from IIM Indore main campus. We also have another auxiliary campus in Mumbai. Its main target is to possibly have the cater management development programs, and also we run our PGPMX program, which is basically a full-time 2 years program, but the classes only happen in weekend. And given you have some 5-10 years of experience, you are eligible rank is 7. Our global MBA ranks 25th in the Asia. I'm just so sorry. I'll just give the answers of all the questions you're putting on the chat just after finishing this. We have a proper Q&A round. We are also being accredited by ACABS, AMBA, as well as EQUIS certification, which is called Triple Crown. So in India, we are the only second institute which has the Triple Crown in this country, which is the 3 different certifications which are a hallmark of the quality of the education which IIM Indore provide. Now, when we talk about this specific program, this is an executive certificate program in general management. Its duration would be 6 months and it expects 5 to 10 hours per week of work. The idea for this particular program was the people who want to have some sort of an exposure for the general management program, and obviously it's not feasible for them to attend any full-time programs. Possibly they would be the one who would be most benefited out of it. We have a comprehensive curriculum which is aligned to the industry in terms of learning path. So whatever the course structure which has been selected is assuming that we will have a courses right from the beginners level to possibly a little bit of an advanced level, so that you can cover the entire spectrum. And it is assumed you have work experience. So many of the organization related things, you guys would be able to use them to create the most out of this particular program. There will be a hands-on projects for practical experience. One of that we will discuss later would be the capstone project. You will have an online live virtual classroom classes apart from the asynchronous classes, so that you will have a flexibility in terms of completing this course based on your time frame. As many of the lectures are asynchronous, that means you will see the recording. And plus, just to strengthen the aspect of what we have covered, we'll also have a live classes where the instructors would come and have an interaction with you related to the curriculum which they have covered, which gives you a little bit of a flexibility in terms of completing this course. So after completing this course, you will be getting a certificate from IIM Indore, which will be classifying you that you have completed your executive program here, and you will get a status of IIM Indore alumni executive, right? So that will be the status which you will be getting. There will be a 3 days campus immersion program for which there's an additional cost. So that means you can come to the campus, experience it. There will be also classes which will be conducted in those 3 days. If you don't attend that, still, if you are able to complete the other requirement, you would. Now let me talk about the structure and design of this particular program. So we'll start with the orientation sessions, which basically talk about what we'll be covering in this particular course, what would be the main idea, basic processing of how your classes will be conducting, the test which you have to pass. With that, we'll start with a smaller module, which will be talking about the foundations of management. Then we briefly go toward understanding the economic side of business, accounting, then trying to go towards a more specialized functional courses like operation management, supply chain, marketing management, human resource. Then talking about something which is much more relevant, possibly even at the senior level, which would be in the field of business analytics, management and leadership, strategy, design thinking, digital disruption and innovation. And then there will be a capstone project. So in the capstone project, what it is supposed to do is we'll be requesting you to pick up a live problem, a functional problem from your company on which you would be working. And then at the end of the course, you have to present this particular problem, how you were able to tackle it, what were some things which you were able to do with it, which will be also a part of your evaluation. And it gives a complete feedback loop system completed that you, after understanding about the basics of the courses, you were able to execute them to solve the real life problems. So that is how possibly this particular program we would like to structure.
All right, so at this point, we would like to take some of your questions, and I'm going to look both in the chat and the Q&A. Starting with the Q&A. We had a question from a user who wants to know if you could compare the Executive Postgraduate Certificate Program in Management, Executive Postgraduate Management EGP,
EGP and PGPMX, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me explain you the difference between these three different types of offering. When we talk about PGPMX course or ePGP course, they are degree courses which are offered by IIM Indore. So if you are live classes in Mumbai campus on the weekend days, this process they will continue for 2 years, after which they will be completing their degree, which will be talking about PGPMX degree. Compared to these two programs, when you talk about the general management program, its duration is 6 months. So, and it offers you a certificate, not a degree, which is a little different. You can understand the technical difference between these two things. Second, obviously in PGPMX and ePGP programs, all the classes are on campus, live classes. Compared to this, we have asynchronous classes as well as synchronous classes. So in terms of both the content, its execution, and the final outcome, these three programs have a very different types of audience in mind.
Thank you. Amit asks if he has his MBA from Pune University and 15 years of experience, is this an appropriate program for him, or would you recommend something else?
Okay, so see, just by having a line that you have a 15 years of experience in MBA, it becomes very difficult for me to give you a ready-made solution. But let me explain you possibly what this program can do for you and possibly what this program won't be able to do for you. See, if you have a 15 years of experience and you are looking for a refresher, in the sense you want to refresh about the basic concepts which are there in the management and possibly upgrade yourself in terms of what has happened in 15 years in terms of the management principle, that might be a great course for you. In case if you're looking for a degree program, possibly this is not the right place to get a degree program. Or possibly if your objective is that you are looking for a senior management specific roles, right? Again, this program is not talking about specialization in a very specific thing. For example, there are programs which are very, very specific only in terms of leadership or data sciences. This program is actually not trying to achieve that. So, depending upon what exactly you are seeking for, this program might be good for you, or possibly program might not be a right fit for you.
Thank you. We have a question from someone in Malaysia if the certificate is recognized there.
Okay, when we talk about certificates recognition, I'm not sure about what are the some specific requirements in Malaysia. Generally, when you go to other countries, whenever there is a degree, when you claim there is a degree, it has to be approved from that particular government. Because this is not a degree program, if you're looking at it as a diploma program or certificate program, I think it might be considered as a degree, not a degree program, but a certificate program by the Malaysian government. But because it is decided by that particular country, I think we would like to check it before we give you a very, very strong response whether it will be recognized in some sense.
Thank you. Shamblavi has asked if this is for undergraduate students and if you could go over some of the
No, Shambhavi,
requirements.
this program is not for undergrad students, right? Basically, the idea is would have already completed your undergrad. So this is not a program that you're currently in the first year of your undergrad and you are trying to do this program. The purpose of this program is not for undergrad.
We have a couple of questions about price, and I will talk about that a little bit later in the webinar. So please stay on board for that.
Okay, so
And
I think
someone asked if the certificate would be physical and not digital. And I believe we issue a digital certificate. Do you know for sure the answer to that, Professor?
we gave a digital certificate, but there'll be a QR code, right, which talks about its uniqueness.
Okay.
Okay, and which will help you to recognize that who has been given that. Anshita, this is not a forum where I can give you tips for the CAT exam. So possibly this is the wrong place to ask that question.
I'm going through the chat now to see if there is this course also available for U.S. students.
This program is available for all students, for all the countries, because it's an online program, but you need to see whether this time would get synchronized with you or whether it meets your requirement.
And you'd be able to check the website to find out. But a general recommendation, which I'll make later, is to contact us through our email address to talk to a learning consultant.
3 days
And
campus immersion, these is valedictory ceremony planned in these 3 days or any time? No, the valedictory ceremony will happen on the 3 days of the campus visit only.
okay. And as you mentioned, the course requires work experience. That was one of the questions here. So you do have to come into this as a working professional. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think that covers all of the questions. Let me see if anything else has come in. Know that you have a time limit, Professor. Do you have a few
So
more
I'll like to
moments?
answer. Yeah, I'll surely wait in case if anyone has a question. I'll surely like to answer that.
Okay, and so we have a question. If the program is beneficial from someone who wants to pivot out of the education sector into the corporate sector.
Okay, so please understand if you are from education sector, I don't know at which level you are, whether you're a school teacher or working possibly in a college. So depending upon the graduation degrees which you have or the post-graduation degree which you have after which you have got into academics as a career, maybe this general management program will help you to get a general idea about how management functions, right? So at some roles it might be benefited, but I'll be very honest with you that this is not a degree program. Please understand after that you will also have to work as they will be providing you an opportunity to upload your CVs on in terms of job, but you need to start your first step on your own to build your management career.
Thank you. Um, we have an attendee who was able to join late. I want to assure everyone that we will be sending an email after this session. You'll get it in the next day or two with a link to the recording of the session so you'll be able to review this. We had
We have two more questions, I think.
yeah, I think so. Sneha says, can you do the course if you're preparing for MBA entrance?
my suggestion would be, if you're preparing for an MBA entrance, this program might not be directly beneficial for you in any way to prepare for your MBA. Because if you'll go in your MBA, possibly they have a very different co-curriculum, right? So if you're looking for thinking in terms of benefits for your MBA, I think then that's not a right way to pick up the choice. Because in case if you're doing MBA, it's a totally different path. But suppose you are someone who is planning to learn about management because it will be useful for your current job, or possibly in terms of the career opportunities which you are looking, this might be a useful course for you.
Thank you. We have a question from a data scientist who wants to move up into management beyond the analytical role. And is this a good course for that?
See, if you're a data scientist and you think that maybe in your organization it is required that you should have an awareness about general management concept. For example, you might be very good in terms of doing a cluster analysis, right? But possibly you are also running it for the marketing department to help them with the segmentation problem. In this program, you will understand exactly what is the things which about which they were looking for a solutions. So if your knowledge about general management increase, I think it might be beneficial, because you will get a much better perspective about what exactly you are doing in terms of crunching those numbers. So it might be useful for you to move up the ladder, because you will have a, apart from technical expertise, idea about the general management.
Okay. And Professor, you'd like to look through the questions in the Q&A and pick the ones that most appeal to you, because I think there's a few down here. There's one about
Whether it will
opportunities
be
for.
useful for project man. Okay, sorry. Please, please,
No,
please.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So I'll just go in the reverse chronicle order, whether it will be
Mm-hmm.
useful for project management sector. Again, Raj, project management sector itself is a huge sector. If you are someone who is in a domain specific job related to project management, and you would like to get an exposure, and if to understand how the general management work, how these interdepartments work, then possibly this program would be very suitable for you to get a general idea about how possibly the organization work. As a career, this, okay, let me answer. I think one more question has come. Uh, is this program turned as EPGM program? If this EPGM program have 1 year duration, how this program? Okay, please understand, this is a executive program. This is not a degree granting program. So the program which you are referring to, which is called EPGP program, that's a degree granting program, which is 1 year of duration, which happens in campus. So this is not exactly that 1 year program which we have divided into two pieces. The program which you are talking about is a very separate program compared to our EPGP program, which is a residential program which finally result into a degree. So it's very different in terms of content and possibly its delivery and the final outcome.
I could ask a question about exams and the process of assessments and tests on this in this program. Uh, can you mention a little bit about that?
Sure. So with every module, when you will be covering a module, there will be an exam, which is basically MCQ. Most of the time, there will be an MCQ exam, which is there. You have to give that exam and score a suitable marks, so that we get an assurance that you were able to understand that particular subject. Once you have cleared all these exams, there's a capstone project. In a capstone project, as I stated, we will request you to identify one problem from your organization which is related to a specific domain. You will be doing an industry analysis. Plus, obviously, in this course, there are domain specific modules. So you'll be also getting some insight from the domain specific module which would be covered. And it is expected that you will use that input to come up with a report, some sort of a presentation, which you would be presenting to us in terms of how you were able to approach to that. It would be considered as your capstone project.
Okay. And I think the last question could.
Not heard of. For example, design thinking is happening in terms of management, and that has been aligned in this particular program to make sure that it is most relevant for the participants.
Wonderful. Thank you, Professor. And I think that is all the time we have part of the presentation. And I'll get to your live questions in a little bit. We talk about management because the digital economy requires managers who have digital understanding. And you saw in the scope of the curriculum that we're covering all aspects of general management. So you do need these kinds of skills to succeed, and this is why the program covers broad range, including the financial and accounting economics through the operations, supply chain management, through marketing, analytics. And these are intended to support you in whatever career path you have going through management. So if you are an individual contributor, you can use these skills to help you understand and move up in management. If you're already at the senior level, you can broaden your skill base, the program of this type. And Professor Motiani is one of a number of professors at IIM Indore who are involved with and deliver this program. So part of a very prestigious cohort, Professor Dash in finance, Professor Rastogi in economics. Of course, Professor Motiani is mainly marketing. Professor Gajar is also in operations and analytics. Professor Kodwani in organizational management and human behavior. Have Professor Basu, who is primarily finance, and Professor Belor, who's also marketing. So these are the advisory board, not the only people who will be delivering the program, but you'll interact with many of them. And to reiterate, this is a program that requires you to be a working professional. So this is, if you're still studying, you'll want to wait until you have your bachelor's degree, which is a minimum requirement for this program. And uh, you need to have 2 or more years of work experience, which can, of course, be in any field. You can be from any background. You do not have to have technology background. You do not have to have a finance or accounting background coming into this program from anywhere. So just want to mention that it's delivered entirely digitally. It's delivered to your desktop. There's a live virtual classroom, as Professor Motiani mentioned. There are multiple tests and assessments. Each step in that curriculum requires that you clear an assessment, and that unlocks the next course in the curriculum. You do projects and case studies, including that capstone project, and you have access to 24/7 support. So you'll be able to interact with your professors, instructors live in the virtual classroom environment on a weekly set schedule, and then be able to do all the other work at any time 24/7 on your own schedule. So talk about a couple of things relating to learner outcomes. Previous batches of the class have had people coming in from all different sorts of organizations. So you will be able to network with your batchmates who may come from companies like IBM or Tata, um, Shell, HP, Amazon, and across all different industries. So this is not just a digital technology oriented. This is a general management for all industries. We also provide, as Simplilearn, the delivery partner with IIM Indore, we provide job assistance. So for 6 months after you earn your certificate, you have access to services with IIM Jobs. This is specifically for learners in India, and this allows you to support your job search. Not a job placement service, but if you are using this program to help you get a new or better job, we can assist you with membership to the IIM Jobs job portal, uh, premium level for 6 months, and also get help with your resume review and rewrite services, which are all important for navigating the automated tracking systems and AI bots that do the first screen of your resume these days. And you want a resume that can pass that process, but still appeal to the human being who sees it after you pass the filter of the AI. So this is a valuable service, and so is the one-on-one interview prep, which prepares you for all the interview types ranging from the phone screen to the technical interview to the management fit and teamwork interviews. So these are all available, as I said, for 6 months after you earn your certificate. So at this point, I'd just like to ask if you might be interested in this program based on what you have heard so far. Going to launch this poll, and I'll share with you some more details, but we'll go into Q&A in a minute. And I'll close the poll in another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit that submit button. And 85% of you said you are interested, and I'm going to share with you some details about that. The enrollment process is pretty straightforward. You email us at askus@simplilearn.net, and we will send to you the information for enrollment and ask you for the documentation of your education and work experience. I'm going to put in the chat right now this information. All right. So we'll then evaluate your qualifications. If you are qualified for the program, we'll send you an admission offer. Our next cohort starts on 20 May. So if you'd like to get started, reach out to us right away. There is a bonus for doing so. Bonus is that you can take 20% off of the program fees. So this program totals 2,47,800 rupee and can be EMI financed at 8436 a month, not 84336. Sorry for the typo. But it also, as I said, you can take a 20% discount from the program fees for being here at this webinar. So thank you very much. This is applies to new enrollments only. And how soon, if you are planning to join the program, how soon, would you plan to enroll? It's this poll question. Would you want to get started in the cohort coming up at the end of the week, or do you want to look at perhaps the next one in August or one later on? We talk about the need to enroll early because the cohort sizes have to be limited. There's live interaction, live instruction, so we can't have unlimited cohort sizes. We try to keep them to about 30 learners maximum. And let me end the poll here and the results. So about 40% of our audience would like to get started either right away or in the cohort right after this one. And for those who are looking further down the road, please do contact us at askus@simplilearn.net. We'll keep in touch with you and keep advised. Before we get to this last question here, I want to answer your Q&A. So let me pull up your questions that have come in live. See which ones Professor Motiani didn't. Experience of 3.8 years in sales and marketing and want to change an industry domain. So executive MBA without a regular MBA, regular MBA, or a program like this one. It depends on what your desired change is. So, Darsh, if you're changing your industry domain, you're looking for more domain knowledge, you might be looking for different information than what an MBA provide you. If you're looking to move up in your organization and develop your general management skills, you might look at this program, which is 6 months, which gives you the background across different skill areas, and then make a decision based on that on whether to then further pursue an MBA. It's not clear from your question whether you want to get the MBA in order to be able to move up in management, but the shift of industry domain is more a matter of the domain knowledge rather than general management knowledge. We covered the cost. Can freshers join the course? Again, this is targeted to people who have at least 2 years of experience after graduating. So you want to make sure that you meet that qualification. Um, the target of the course are people who have some experience in the workplace and want and have some understanding of how it works, so that they can then apply these management techniques. Uh, so I have completed the PGDIB from Symbiosis, more than 8 years of experience. I'm not familiar with that qualification. If it's a bachelor's degree, that should be adequate for joining the program here. And then again, it depends on what it is that you want to pursue in your career. Uh, if this is the right program for you. Percentage also matter or not. Rajesh, you do have to have 50% marks in your academic record. Will you be mentioning that IIM Indore alumni status? You'll be certainly able to share the certificate um, award status once you've earned your certificate and publicly announce that very proudly. Um, so talked about that. Projecta, you're chemical engineer, 4 years of experience in operations. If you are looking to broaden your understanding of your organization and move into general management so that you can move to level of department head or vice president or even higher in the organization, this type of general management knowledge will be extremely helpful to you, be more effective in those kinds of roles. Is there any exam to shortlist candidates, or will there be an exam at the end of the award? There are simple assessment exams as part of the enrollment process, but they're just to make sure that you have basic aptitude. But the main exams that are done throughout the course culminate in the capstone project. The capstone project is where you provide a solution to a case study that's presented to you, and that acts as the final exam that shows that you can integrate all of the different learnings from the different courses within the program. So that's really the purpose. Is this equivalent to an executive MBA? This is not at the level of an executive MBA. That would be a little bit more, a little bit longer, a little bit more intense. Um, but this has the elements of an executive MBA in terms of covering all of the different management areas and skills. Uh, Regarding the capstone project, what are we supposed to do if we aren't working in an organization at a particular time? So, with respect to that, you would work with your instructors to create a simulated environment for how you would carry out this program if you were working at a particular organization. So that's an accommodation that IT professional with over 30 years of experience. So how can this help you with career growth? This again gives people who are uh, functional experts in a particular uh, area and a particular domain, uh, broader skills to be able to understand the other aspects of the organization, its strategic goals, um, how different areas support those goals, and how you can participate in management both within your functional area, but also on a more general level. And so this helps to facilitate moving up in management skills for managing your group better and then moving into more general roles. Um, Talked about that. How to avail the discount. When you contact us at askus@simplilearn.net, and you will receive a follow-up email with details on the discount as well. So you can request that and um, mention that you were at this webinar. But the follow-up email will also include a discount code that you can use. What certificate will you be given? And the certificate, I think we showed an example earlier on, is the certificate from IIM Indore. It certifies that you have met the requirements of the program to their satisfaction. Simplilearn is the delivery partner. Program is an IIM Indore program. And the start date for the next classes is the 20th of May. Let me check in the chat window to see what other questions may be here. Duration of the course, 6 months, online only. You can do this from wherever you are. Much of the material is available to you on your tablet or smartphone if you're looking at some of the pre-recorded materials, but you do need to be able to join the live classes, which is best done from the desktop or laptop. Looking back through assessment methodology, there are quizzes, assessments at the end of each module. The instructor may assign to you actually homework assignments. So, and there is preparation that you want to do in preparation for each week's live session. So, system will track that. Um, it will give you prompts if you are if you've missed some classes or assignments. It'll prompt you to catch up and keep track of what's going on. So it helps support your success in that way as well. So I'm going to ask this last poll question here. Hope I have answered questions. I think I've covered everything that's in the chat and Q&A. So my question here is, do you need assistance? Would you like us to reach out proactively to you to answer any questions and to help you get started? I'll leave this open for another 10 seconds. Close that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so for the about 40% of you who said that you're interested in getting, we will contact you. Everybody will be receiving, share that. Everybody will be receiving email with a link to the recording of this session, information on claiming your discount, and you'll also receive proof of attendance for this session. And with that, I want to thank you all for being here and for expressing interest in the program from IIM Indore. The QR code will take you to the program page on our website. I will also put that into the chat right now. And make that available to you. And you'll be able to see some further details about the program, an example of the certificate, and other details about cohort dates and enrollment. Also, you'll be able to check pricing for your local area if you happen not to be in India. And with that, I want to say again, thank you to all of you for being here. Appreciate your taking your time this evening, and we hope we can welcome you into the learning community with IIM Indore and Simplilearn. That concludes our webinar.